Right, so we're going to do some stretching. Hip flexors, hamstrings, and then your chest and back. We're going to use the Tabata timer to do this. So we're going to apply 30 seconds of dynamic stretching, moving as we stretch, and then 30 seconds of holding. Alright? So if you haven't got the app already, T-A-B-A-T-A timer, and then you're going to set it for 30 seconds of work, and then 5 seconds of rest, just to prepare yourself in between, alright? And you're going to set this for 2 cycles and 4 sets. Okay, so because it's just 2 different types of stretching, and we're going to repeat it twice, so we do 4 essentially in total. Okay? So the first stretch we're doing is that hip flexor. So you're going to come into a nice upright position, place 1 foot forwards, make sure the foot is out slightly so that you can feel the stretch come into the hip, and then we're just going to sink forwards. Once you're in that position, get your timer ready. So we've got 30 seconds of just pulsing into the stretch. We're trying to stay nice and upright, try and relax the back foot, and you're trying to open out this hip. Try to breathe with each movement, and just as time goes on, try and ease into the stretch a little bit more. Good, 5 seconds. Okay, wriggle around. Here we go. And now just gently ease that hip forwards. Whenever you're stretching out your hip, or your shoulder for this matter, it's a ball and socket joint. So there's a ball that's sitting in that joint. Gently, I know the sound's a bit frightening, but gently try and push that hip forwards, and imagine you're trying to pop that ball slightly out. Breathe into the stretch. You don't have to count, you've got the timer for you. Good, and then we're going to pulse again. Should certainly be feeling this hip open out now. It does burn, it's not comfortable. Really make sure you stay nice and upright, and just creeping that hip that little bit further forwards. It's also quite normal, as we're in it for a good couple of minutes, for this leg to be burning a bit as well, or having to work it. You might find yourself back here. That's your limit, that's your limit. And finally, sink forward. Breathe, 30 more seconds. And just push this hip out. Stay tall. Make sure you don't overextend. Can cause damage to the lower back if you do. Just creep the hip out and breathe into the stretch. 10 seconds. Breathe, 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 breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we are. So now, if you stand up, it's always a funny feeling. We've obviously stretched out that one hip. You should feel quite imbalanced. So we're obviously going to go on to the other side. So we'll place the right foot forwards. If you want to use a normal timer for this, by the way, absolutely fine. The Tabata timer can sometimes confuse people a little bit. And then from here, again, stay nice and upright. And we're just pulsing into the stretch. I always think of my hip as an escalator, and you're just trying to keep it forwards and slightly down. You will always find one side slightly tighter than the other. Perfectly normal. Five seconds. Good. Get yourself ready. Pushing that hip out. Never hold the breath unless it's intentionally done through some controlled breathing. Gently trying to open out this hip. This is my tighter one. Okay, and then pulsing. Push that hip out a little bit more each time, easing lower nice and upright. Feel like your weight is right on top of your hips. You're not leaning over. Stay nice and upright. Nearly there. 5. Good. And then we've got one more. Easing forwards, 30 seconds, nice and tall. Relax the shoulders. Really feel that hip open out. Push, push, push. Forwards and slightly down, remember. Hip is burning, keep breathing. This is so good for anyone, which is almost everyone, who sits down a lot. And out we come. Up you step. And now the hips are nice and even at least. Okay, so we've done our hips, so now we're going to move on to the hamstrings. So, I'd like you to take a seat, have your feet out in front of you and sit up nice and tall. For those of you that find that really hard work, you might find it pulling on your hips, slightly bend the knees, okay, because I want you to be able to relax in this position. And the way we're going to work it is we're going to reach our arms up, lengthen the back, creep forwards, and then we're going to be pulsing towards the feet, and then holding, okay? And we're just going to do this, obviously, on both legs, so we don't have to repeat it on either side. So set the timer. We have 30 seconds again, 5 seconds in between, just to get yourself ready. Up nice and tall, over we reach, pulse away. Feel like when you're pulsing, that the pulsing isn't coming from your shoulders. You're trying to relax the shoulders and lengthen through the back. You'll obviously feel a deep stretch come into the back of the legs. You can almost pull on your feet if you can reach them. If your hands are here and you're just at this point, it's absolutely fine. It's perfectly normal. Breathing with each pulse. Trying to creep a tiny bit further forward. Okay, and then get yourself ready. And 30-second hold. Deep, long breaths. If you can pull your toes in towards you as well, that will help increase the stretch and the pain, if I'm honest, because it's going to stretch through the calves as well. But you see how much we can progress as we breathe. And then pulse. No tension in the shoulders, remember. Trying to keep the knees down, but like I said, if they are slightly bent, that's absolutely fine. Really trying to push to lengthen that a little bit more now. Forwards we come, get yourself ready to hold. Last 30 seconds, breathe into the stretch. Always try and go further when you exhale. Seven seconds, keep going. And well done. Okay, so we've got our hips and our hamstrings stretched out. We're going to finish off with one of my favourite stretches. This is going to get chest, shoulders, into your back, so that we open up the body nice and upright. I've just got a bench. This could be a chair, this could be your bed. Ideally it's something solid. The bed could work, but the mattress being bouncy isn't as good. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands a little bit wider than shoulder width. And we're going to bring our knees back under our hips, so we're just reaching onto the chair or the bench, whatever it is. And then we're going to tuck our chin in and push our chest down towards the floor. Now in this position, you can see that I've curved my back and my tailbone is arching, so that banana shape is what we're aiming for. If you're tight in your shoulders, you won't quite be able to get that, alright? Grab your stopwatch, and we're applying the same principle. Come on. Okay, so here we go. So curling the tailbone up towards the ceiling, gently pushing down into the stretch, pulsing through the movement. Probably got your phone directly under your face at this stage watching me, so hope you've got a good view. Should feel a deep stretch come into the shoulders, possibly the back a bit as well. You might also note one side is slightly tighter. So now we hold. Take deep long breaths, let gravity take place, and just try to relax, easing the chest down towards the mat. Deep long breaths. Okay, and pulsing away. Just trying to progress that bit further. Normal for your shoulders to be burning, like I say. They are getting a deep stretch. Should be creeping that little bit closer to the floor. Your shoulder blades will be drawn together, so you might even find your upper back is firing slightly. Very, very good for your posture. And finally, down we go. 30 seconds worth. We're off. Last 30 seconds. Breathe into the stretch. I'm just starting to get a little bit of pins and needles in my hands now. It's nothing to worry about if this happens. It just shows that you're a little bit tight, shows I'm not perfect and far from it. Deep long breaths. And like I say, a great stretch to open out the body. And that's us done. 3 stretches, but applying the dynamic and the static stretching together, in my opinion, is the best way to help improve your flexibility. Enjoy.